Hi, I'm Randy Horton from Orthogonal. We're here at the LSX World Congress at the Boston Convention Center. You can't make it to every conference to hear everything going on. And even if you do make it to a conference, you definitely can't talk to every interesting person at the conference. So we're here today to bring you some of the best of this conference to you at your desk, which is probably at your home. So it's probably the same thing if I say at home or at work, with Ravi Kaushik from Takeda Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for joining us. So tell us a little bit about Takeda and then give us a little bit of background on you.
Yeah, sure. So Takeda is a large pharmaceutical company. It's a Japanese company, but very strongly based in Boston with their R&D headquarters here and global headquarters in Japan. Over the last 10 years, they have become big with rare diseases, having big acquisitions like Shire and Baxter. My role specifically is to lead the Plasma-Derived business, which is a large business within Takeda. The unique part of that business is that we collect people's plasma and we fractionate it into various medicines, and then those medicines are provided to patients. And so these medicines are provided for home infusion, quite similar to like insulin or other drugs, except the volume is much bigger. My role is to lead device and connected care, device digital solutions for patients. And my background, I was with GE Healthcare leading device development for many years.
Okay.
And then I was with Baxter, where I got the overlap with the drug discovery and drug delivery that we are talking about. Then with Medtronic, which I think was my introduction to drug delivery devices. So I had device development and insulin drug delivery. And I think it still is the gold standard where you have 3D, drug, device, and digital as the solution. I was also a CEO for an in vitro diagnostic company for a couple of years. I was here for 14 years. I was in the Asia Pacific region for 12 years. And now I have been with Takeda for the last 4 years, driving device solutions to help our patients for home infusion. We also have some donor-oriented device innovations on the other side of collection of plasma.
Oh, interesting. So you're on the supply side and the demand side.
Yeah, donor and patient. Yes.
Right, so you said, it was interesting, you said something that, but like the real home run is with 3Ds.
3D. Drug, device, and digital.
Digital.
So I call it the 3D ecosystem. So you want to find your patient and provide them with their drug, but connected device and digital. And to expand on that, why is diabetes so successful? They have a continuous glucose monitor, which is measuring what's going on in your body. It is telling the device through Bluetooth and through an app what you need to do. And then the device is delivering the dose, the basal and bolus. And you get this whole closed loop system, the artificial pancreas. So learning from that, can we imitate that in other ailments where a monitoring device tells your app and the monitoring device tells your device to dispense the drug? And so that's the utopia, the gold standard. And then I think a lot of other pharma companies need to try to figure out how to get there. Yeah.
How much of that template do you feel applies and how much learning you think will be unique to other kinds of diseases?
I think the template applies in diabetes because it's a huge space and it's a big enough business for a MedTech company to innovate for diabetes. The problem with rare diseases is it's only 100,000 patients. So the business case for a device company is very limited. And so the investment for that kind of an ecosystem, and also there is very little standardization. So it's mostly in vials, and then there is some pre-filled syringes. Meanwhile, the insulin companies have standardized on a standard vial. So you can basically create a platform which can accommodate everything. So the challenges are non-standardization, not that much volume. So what I say is we have to step up and help our own patients because our patients are rare and we are serving them with the drug. And so we would like to provide devices, digital, to help serve them, but learning from MedTech companies.
Very interesting. So you're in a company that at the core is a pharma company, but you're very much focused on other things that the pharma needs to get
exactly
successful drugs.
A lot of pharma companies are trying that because you cannot become a device company, but you collaborate, you partner, you bring people from device companies, like I came myself, with the experience of drug delivery, And then you apply that to make solutions which are relevant for your target segment of patients to make their outcomes better, basically. I call it phygital. So it's physical and digital innovation. So it's a real word where the physical device is important. It's on body or it's a wire access device, but there's a digital component. So it's phygital innovation.
Digital innovation.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're at about the 3-minute point. We have the MTAIQ, mean time to AI question.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess rather than talk about specific what you're doing with AI, how much of the digital story these days is AI or AI dependent, and how much of it is there's lots of other things that you can do in digital that aren't necessarily really about the AI?
So I think AI is a great and welcome change and an improvement. And I would think the adoption and adaptation of digital health will accelerate greatly. Because like we were talking before, the digital health solution, first of all, let me break it down to 2-3 parts. Your solution has to remove a step for you to actually adopt the digital solution. So you use navigation, you use weather, you use banking, you use many apps, but that is because it reduces your step of finding your way or going to the bank. So first of all, your app has to do what is the step reduction that you are providing with the infusion or with the donor that your digital health app is. So that's the first one. Second one is your adherence and compliance. So you want to make sure that there is a recall value, that every day you go back and look at your app. So the reason you do that is because the app talks to you. So you need to create some kind of a loop where it is telling you you're doing very well. They're motivating, encouraging to go back and deal with the treatment. And so AI, I think, to answer your earlier question, is going to help because it will learn from you your specific habits, your customized things like ChatGPT does, and it'll start applying that and become more personable to you. So in the future, today we are having like a FAQ. You just ask a question and it struggles through the answer. Is this what you are saying? Is this what I'm understanding? In the future, AI and Gen AI will start adding the agent or the agentic piece and will start answering you in the language you speak, in the lifestyle you have, in the treatment you want. And so I think it'll accelerate digital health adoption. Yeah.
All right. So maybe you could give us an example from a specific thing you're working on.
Yeah, we are pretty much at the beginning stages, but I think our company has made good digital innovations for our patients. So for example, we launched an app. It's for our IG patients for home. It's called IG Sensi. It's launched in Japan. It's launching in a few countries in Europe. And basically, it's, again, adherence, compliance, a reminder, drink your water, how to infuse, and a lot of the pieces which will make it valuable for a patient to use the app. We had another good idea that, hey, our patients need their hands to infuse. So what about a hands-free, voice-activated agent? So you can say, hey, Google, or hey, Siri, or hey, Alexa. So we worked with Amazon and we came up with this hands-free, voice-enabled app where it's called Infusion Insight, and it is helping with infusion at home for patients and for nurses, HCPs in the US. And basically, we are piloting it right now, but the feedback we are getting is it's hands-free. I can talk to it, it can talk back or show me a picture and help me. So these are small steps, but I think we'll continue to innovate further based on these.
Do you think a lot of the biggest innovation is not one big bang, but it's compounding of small steps together? Or?
I would say that with pharma, we're trying to make incremental improvements. Obviously, disruptive innovation is great. It completely changes. But since we are in subcutaneous IG or subcutaneous infusion at home, there is many other examples. We have to see how much of that example can we adopt and we can tweak to make it our own and help our patients. And also, the ecosystem has to adopt it. So the HCP, the insurance reimbursement, the specialty pharmacy distribution channel, they have to feel the value you're offering for them to push the digital health to the patient. Because while we are acting for the patient, unless the channel and all these other people who are adding a lot of value, HCP, reimbursement, and pharmacy, are not feeling it, and then it'll not scale up as quickly as you want.
Got it. Got it. How much of that is a challenge for you, and how much of it is you get to ride on the coattails of other people doing similar work that these same people are interacting with?
So we are in R&D, so we are obviously focused on the patient need, and we work very closely with our commercial colleagues who give us the value chain of the entire channel. Clearly, as and when we launch, our commercial colleagues work very closely with us to make sure that they are able to inform the value prop and disperse that and grow that. But in rare disease, it's one patient at a time. It's very small. The other part that I was mentioning in a talk earlier was that can we leverage digital health apps within the clinical trial? So we are doing that, and that's one part is to help your clinical trial with efficiency, with data, with recruitment. The other part is, can you make it part of your drug approval that it was approved? And oh, by the way, there was this app which actually helps with the outcomes. I don't think we're there yet, but that's a dream for all pharma companies that, you have the digital health app combined or coexisting with the drug, and that is the 3D, back to the 3D.
Right. 3D. Okay, so it's interesting because you've had this career that has sort of spanned a wide number of things. If you were bringing somebody onto your team who was coming straight from MedTech and had never worked with pharma, they were just medical imaging.
Yeah.
What would you tell them they need to put into their mindset in order to be effective in a setting where you're not just doing drug delivery device in pharma, CDRH in a drug space, but digital on top of it? What would you tell people they need to learn to do that successfully?
I always tell people, specifically for Takeda, to go to our website and look at the how to administer videos. So we have our present how to administer. So my question to everybody is, tell me, either through device or digital innovation, how you would improve the patient experience. Right. And so that is my first little teaser of, you saw the present state, the present day, and this could be applicable to any pharma company. Every drug has a present day situation of how to administer and how patients live through a chronic disease with the existing devices. And then what would it be for a future with a future device or a future digital app or a future 3D ecosystem. And so whether you come from imaging or whether you come from MedTech or in drug delivery, that's not important. What is important is, are you able to take the insight, translate that into design thinking, into the jobs to be done theory, into an actual app and a device which so beautifully blends with the drug, which makes the value of the therapy so much more stronger rather than the drug by itself, which in itself is quite valuable. But can you really accentuate the value with the device digital? Can you make your McDonald's burger into a Happy Meal?
All right, I like that metaphor. I'm gonna have to remember that one, because you don't just get the meal, but it makes you happy, right?
Yes, with the two.
And the packaging around it, right? It's not just the food. You got the games on the box.
Yes, that too.
Okay, now I need McDonald's for lunch. Maybe. Yes. We'll have to see. That's terrific. Well, thank you very much for coming out.
Thanks a lot.
Sharing something.
Yes. So these are my views. And while I do work for Takeda, this is my personal views. And I look forward to more conversations, more learning, and more sharing with this.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye.